think women tend to network a lot less than men. And in fact, it sort of falls off the moment they have families because they feel guilty about spending time on themselves. So what I feel very passionate about is actually setting out a network and to make sure the network sort of grows with the women.
As Singapore's first female minister and a mother of three, Mrs. Lim Hwee Hua would know all about juggling work and family.
Most of the sort of working hours will be filled with work at either the Ministry of Finance or Transport. So it will be meetings or it will be activities that are sort of related to the two portfolios. It will also occasionally include groups of meeting with other people from whom I get a lot of feedback on, and it's not just matters sort of limited to the two portfolios. Usually there will be a working lunch that would include again for me to catch up with people. So most of the working hours would revolve around policy review, decision making, and so on. And then the evenings and the weekends will be filled with work more for the constituency, because that's when people get off from work, the residents are actually around. It's also probably the most ideal time for me to get them, when they're a little more relaxed at home as well. So it tends to be of that balance. And then in between, what I try to do is to allocate time for, say, a dinner with my family, or as I often do, I actually do a quick dinner at home before I go run off for my evening events. My kids are quite used to that. They keep rather late hours too, so sometimes I catch them around midnight and just have a quick chat. So we sort of work around each other's lifestyles.
Despite her hectic schedule, Mrs. Lim found the time to grace her world's 50th anniversary gala dinner, where she was named her world's Woman of the Year.
Woman of the Year is probably the most inspiring role model you can think of. Someone who's made huge contributions to society in the industry that she's in, whether it's politics, law, media, and someone who has helped to promote Singapore overseas as well, because she's the first female minister that Singapore has ever had, and we feel that's very inspiring for other women either to enter into politics or even to just take up leadership roles, to go after leadership roles, because Minister Lim has proven that women can achieve anything. Right. She's also a mentor to young women, and she's managed to juggle everything very successfully, being a politician, a mentor, a mother, and a wife. So we find that she's a very inspiring role model.
We feel very privileged to be awarded as the young achievers, the young women achievers, right next to her, because she's the first woman to be in the Singapore government cabinet. And we spoke to her briefly just now, and we can really feel that she is, despite all that she has achieved, she really is a very humble person, and she's very personable, and we're privileged to be awarded on the same panel as her.
Mrs. Lim avoided speaking against gender discrimination or rallying against stereotypes, and instead took the time to dedicate a large part of her speech to the men who helped her along the way in her life. From a primary school principal, to a fruit hawker, to her late father, to her husband.
I cannot end my speech without thanking my husband Andy, who has provided unstinting support and encouragement to pursue the different possibilities. Whenever I had doubt, he would bolster my confidence to believe in myself and to stretch a little more. When I have been an absent mother, despite the best of planning efforts, he has more than filled the shoes.
In our next clip, Her World editor Elizabeth Gwee tells us why it's a woman's world, and find out what items these women would put in a time capsule for posterity.